Hello, my friends. So the other day I watched a video by Overlord DVD about the trailer of The Matrix 4 Resurrection. By the way, that trailer looks awesome and has a great use of the Jefferson Airplane song White Rabbit. Doomcock, the host of Overlord DVD, mentioned some potential spoilers, but the main one, and also the one I want to focus on, by the way, possible spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled, I recommend clicking off this video and checking out some of my other ones. Anyway, the main spoiler, and the point of this video, is that it will be revealed that Trinity is the chosen one. So let's think about this. Trinity, the chosen one. Does this make sense? Does it keep with the Matrix universe? Or is this just the newest example of modern day wokeness? Well, I haven't seen the movie, and I'm just working on rumor, but this does originate from the World of Geekdom YouTube channel. And for those who don't know, he has a pretty good track record with spoilers and plot leaks. He did one on one of the Godzilla movies, and it ended up being pretty close to what we ended up getting in theaters. As we all know, in the original Matrix trilogy, both characters die, with Neo sacrificing himself for both humanity and machines, and Trinity sacrificing herself for Neo. So why switch the title of the one? And is that what's going on here? I guess I'm getting into more spoilers and plot points. But according to this video, The Matrix takes place 60 years after the events of the Matrix Revolutions. Basically, Neo pops up again in the Matrix, and so does Trinity somehow. Morpheus is a frickin' agent, but different. You know, it's not Lawrence Fishburne. And Doogie Howser, MD, is the therapist and the bad guy. By the way, this is no dig on NPH. I'm a big fan. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I got a soft spot for Doogie Howser, so that's why I'm calling him as such. And it fits. He's a therapist, and Doogie was a doctor. So, same neighborhood, I guess? Anyway, the events of the first three movies come up as flashbacks for Neo. And Neo spends a lot of time trying to decipher what is real and what isn't when it comes to his past. You know, that's pretty in line with the Matrix. So, with Doogie trying to suppress Neo's urge to be the one again, he sees Trinity and things spark off at some point. During this time, Morpheus, who isn't the original, but I would liken it to a cover of a band, of another band song. He's not OG Morpheus, but it's kind of like when Weezer covered Africa. It wasn't Toto, but it was awesome. And I'm a big fan of Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. If you haven't checked out his work, watch Aquaman and the HBO series The Watchmen. He is fantastic in The Watchmen. And he's good in Aquaman too. This movie will act as a soft reboot of the series. So, in a way, I can see the powers of the one being passed on. But if that were the case, Trinity is a little bit of a weird choice. I'm not hating. I want to see what happens. And I'm super happy that Carrie-Anne Moss is in this movie. She's always been great. But at some point in this movie, I guess she shares the power of the one with Neo. And they try to take flight, and it's Trinity that finally does it, not Neo. What's weird is, from what I can tell, she's not the one per se, but her and Neo are the one. Or maybe the two. What would you call that? The chosen duo? I don't care. As long as it's not the forced dyad, I'm good. Of course, this raises the question, is this an interesting creative choice or more woke shenanigans? There have been many attempts of introducing more people of color and women into blockbusters. The Star Wars sequel trilogy is a great example, with Rey and Finn being featured prominently in the series. Of course, Terminator Dark Fate, and as I've covered before, Masters of the Universe Revelations pretty much removed male protagonists in favor of female ones. Are we looking at the same here? Maybe, but it seems a little bit different. First, this is all speculation, and perhaps it's from a reliable source with World of Geekdom, but right now it's just rumor. What I find interesting is instead of swapping the main character for a female counterpart, the power is shared between Trinity and Neo. This kind of makes sense given the history of the Wachowski siblings. Both of them like to make statements with their filmmaking. Even the original Matrix had overtones of Buddhism and Gnosticism, with Neo representing a Christ-like figure that breaks the bonds of the people to help them realize that they are basically batteries for machines. Now free, they can have a killer, sweaty rave near the core of the planet. Kidding aside, Neo eventually brokers a peace between the machine and man to combat a common enemy with Agent Smith. Neo's act of surrender, letting Smith absorb him and thus giving the machines access to Smith, is able to save both civilizations. So one could say that Neo died to save humanity, and machines too. Very, very Christ-like. The Wachowskis, when it's all said and done, are kind of avant-garde filmmakers. They like to infuse their films with deeper meaning. I've already mentioned The Matrix, but Cloud Atlas has overtones of reincarnation and human nature with some karma thrown in for good measure. Even Jupiter Ascending has kind of a wild take on the Cinderella story and has some valid points and interesting commentary on capitalism. So I don't see this as being a woke decision just for wokeness' sake. If these rumors are true, it has to have some meaning to Lily Wachowski. The Wachowskis have always been socially conscious in their storytelling and casting. Originally, Neo would have been played by Will Smith. Also, their first movie, Bound, is a love story about two women. In the mid-90s, that was still kind of different. When they made their first movie, Bound, they were the Wachowski brothers. Since that movie, and after the Matrix trilogy, both of the siblings went on personal journeys, and now they both identify as trans women. I have a personal theory that this version of the Matrix film could be an allegory for Lily Wachowski's path as a trans woman. Also, even the Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions poked holes in the concept of prophecy and question what is free will. Lastly, if the reports are true, the power of the One isn't going to be transferred from Neo to Trinity, but shared between them. I can see this as another example of balance, in this case between the masculine and the feminine. Both halves working together to achieve more than they could alone. This is very in line with the Wachowski style of movie making. But again, these are my thoughts on the matter. I would love to hear yours. If you like my content, make sure to hit like and subscribe. As always, fare thee well, my friends, and take care.